your might.
Hello. Hello. Party people.
And today we have a very special guest, Chris Casamassa. He is a 4-time world champion in karate. He was Batman's stunt double. He also fought Chuck Norris, okay? And he also, I almost forgot, just happens to be Scorpion, the real Scorpion. Y'all give it up for the one, the only, Chris Casamassa! How are you, my friend? Toasty!
But now there's only 3 of us. And I'm like, well, they said they needed like 50 guys. So I don't know what's going on. But they had a movie camera set up, and they had a bunch of other people I hadn't seen before. And they were essentially just the 3 of us were just standing there, 3 guys in a row, and they were filming us with the camera. And then one of the guys came over who I didn't know he was the director because I hadn't met anybody. But they said the oddest question in the world, and they go, did you guys mind taking your shirt off? And unfortunately, I'm a bit of a smart guy, and I was also nervous, so I didn't know what else to say. So I said, listen, if it'll help me get in the movie, right? That was the response I wanted. I wanted to laugh, but he didn't laugh, just stone-faced looked at me. I'm like, oh, whatever this is, like, I'm out. So we took our shirt off, and I'm in really good shape, and I was in really good shape at that time. And so they were just kind of filming back and forth. And these guys go into this football huddle for what seemed like an hour. It was probably only a minute. And the same guy who I made the joke to walked over, shook my hand. He said, welcome to Mortal Kombat. You're going to be Scorpion.
Wow.
And so it happened. Yeah. So it was a chance opportunity that just happened at the right moment. Now, I don't know if the roles had actually been cast or not to this day. Even the producer, he's like, we're not telling you. Or if they were still looking for somebody, but that's kind of how it played out. And, I was just the right person at the right time with the right talent that they were looking for.
Wow, that is incredible. So you had no idea that they were even looking for somebody for that.
No idea.
That is crazy. I bet you were just over the moon. Had you done more
totally
stuff?
Because like I said, I was a big fan of the game, so I was stoked. And, I got home and I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, I'm going to be Scorpion. I'm going to be Scorpion. She goes, that's great, honey. What's a scorpion?
Wow.
She had no idea.
Yeah, that must have been crazy. Were you there a long time? Where were you, first of all? Were you I know that they shot a lot of it in LA, and then they went to, like, an island or something in the middle of
Thailand. A couple different locations in Thailand and in LA. We shot at a couple sound stages in LA as well.
So you were in both?
Yep. Yeah.
How was it in Thailand? Did you like it?
Say that again?
Did you like Thailand? Had you been there before?
I was never there before. It was beautiful. Beautiful country and a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, so I read, I'm a big fan. I need to send you, I've done a video reviewing.
I feel like I should be wearing glasses because you have glasses on.
But anyway, so how long were you there? Or how long were you shooting in total?
We're on the shoot for about 3.5 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I heard that everybody was getting hurt mostly the entire time. Like everybody was getting like slightly injured a little bit.
Well, yeah. Listen, on an action show like that, there's always bumps and bruises that happen. But I mean, overall, the production was completely safe. Lyndon and I, who played Johnny Cage, when we were fighting up on the platform, like he accidentally punched me in the head one time. It was an accident, and he freaked out. But it was, I do this for a living, so I'm still going. And he's like, "Oh my god!" He wanted to stop, but other than that, nothing beyond the normal bumps and bruises on a fight show.
He did a very good job as Johnny Cage. Like,
yes, he did.
I thought he did a perfectly good job of that because I was about like the ninjas, and I liked Scorpion and like Noob Sabat and all those guys. But he made me like Johnny Cage because he's kind of like, with Iron Man, you associate the personality with the character. Like, Robert Downey Jr. made Iron Man. Like, without him, it wouldn't have. And I felt like he did that for Johnny Cage, and I thought that he did a really good job.
I agree. And listen, Lyndon's a really good actor, and he's very dedicated to his craft. And to his credit, listen, we trained, he got a crash course, a 2-3 month crash course in martial arts. He'd never done it before the filming. But after, like, we became friends, and after the filming ended, he was actually a student of mine for a year and a half. He trained, he came twice a week. He would come and train with me and keep going. He made it halfway to black belt with me. And then he started booking other jobs and got some other stuff going on. So he didn't get to make it all the way to black belt, but he was super dedicated, and he was actually really good.
Yeah, he did good. I mean, in the movie, it looked great. I mean, it looked like he knew what he was doing. So good job to you. That's pretty cool. Like, so did you choreograph any of it? Because I read that Liu Kang choreographed a lot of the actual fights in the movie. But then I read that you two guys, you and Johnny Cage, worked it out between yourselves with the fight in the woods.
Yes. Well, the fight coordinator is Pat Johnson. The guy who played Liu Kang, Robin Shou, he choreographed his fight with Reptile and I think with Sub-Zero. But the main fight coordinator's name is Pat Johnson, who was responsible for not only the Mortal Kombat action, but he did Batman and Robin. He did all the Ninja Turtle movies, all the Karate Kid movies. So this guy, when it comes to fight coordination, really knows his stuff. And what's great about Pat is he takes your talent and puts it into the fight. So when I got hired, he knew what I could do. And he's like, all right, these are your good moves. We're going to put these in here. These are your good moves. So he tells you the flow of the fight, lets you work on stuff. You bring it back to him. And he's like, all right, this works, this doesn't, this works, this doesn't. So you can shape the fight to where it's unique to your character. And because I was a fan of the game, I really wanted to put a lot of Scorpion's video game moves into the fight itself. The uppercut and all that stuff. So we really did our best to get that in there, and he was great to work with as far as putting the fight together. And I couldn't talk him out of the fact that Scorpion should have won because it was part of the script. But other than that, he was awesome.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier today. I was like, there's just no way that, like, these normal people, like, we got Raiden, which is a god. We have Scorpion, which is, like, from the nether realm and can tear his face off and blow fire and stuff. And I was like, that's kind of a stretch. that they could win against them, but yeah, it's a movie, so I guess the good guys have to win.
Yeah, you gotta do
but
that.
Also, like, so if say you were not Scorpion, so you said your favorite character would be Raiden.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that Lambert did a good job. Also, he made that funny. Everybody was really good.
One of my other favorite movies, which is the Highlander series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did a really good job casting for Mortal Kombat. I thought that, because I did a review on this actually before. I need to send you that. You probably think it was funny, but we gave a very good review saying that it's perfect for because that was one of the first video game movies. I mean, there was one or two.
It was the first one to be successful. There had been two other ones that had come out at the box office and had bombed. And that was the other great thing about our movie is nobody expected us to do well. And we opened and we were the number one movie in the world for 6 weeks in a row, number one soundtrack. So it was awesome because both Street Fighter and I think it was
Mario
had come out previously in theaters, but neither one of them did really well. And then we came out and just crushed expectations. And I give the producer, Larry Kazanoff, all the credit for that because he really wanted, to stay true to the game, which those other two movies kind of didn't, and so that the fans weren't really happy. And number two, he wanted to bring in the best martial artists possible for each of the roles that really required that fighting thing. So he brought in myself and Francois Petit, who was Sub-Zero. Robin Shou is a great martial artist. Keith Cook, who played Reptile, is another national champion. So when you bring in that caliber of talent, you can design the fights in a way that stays true to the game and is really a lot of fast-paced action. So Larry Kazanoff gets a lot of the credit for that and the success of the film.
Wow. Yeah, it was great. I loved it. I really loved it. It was awesome. Also, got another question. I was reading about you, and you were stunt guy for Batman?
Yeah, Batman and Robin. I doubled for George Clooney. Whenever you see Batman punch or kick, that's not Batman. That's
really?
me. Yeah.
Wow. I bet that was crazy. Like, I love Batman.
I can tell you how fun that was. I'm probably one of only maybe a dozen people on the planet that has ever worn the actual bat suit from the film. So just to be able to have that opportunity to be on that set, to wear that thing, I mean, what a great gig that was. It was a really good time.
Yeah, growing up, Batman was everything to me. Like, so that is so cool. What did it feel like? What was it like? Heavy?
It feels like as soon as you put it on, you have to find a mirror so that you can stand up and look at yourself and just go, I'm Batman. But the costume itself, like, I don't know the new one, the Christian Bale outfit, how they have it, but that one was very heavy. It was 35 pounds of skin-tight rubber and a leather cape that was 8 feet long that came off the back. So it was a bit of a nightmare to be in, and to do the fights that we did in them was even more challenging. But it was a great challenge, and I had a fantastic time doing it.
So you were doing, like, all the fights? Like, the whole time? Wow.
Yep. So there's different stunt Batman for each part. There's a car driving Batman, there's a high fall Batman, there's a fighting Batman. So I was the fighting Batman.
That's pretty good. Yeah, you don't want to be like the one for everything. Yeah, that's scary. But like, so what stood out to you the most? Like, what do you remember the most about it? Like, as far as scenes, like, which one was the most fun?
I remember the most, unfortunately, is not very good, because there were probably 20 minutes worth of fights that we shot in that batsuit that never made it into the film. And if you go back and watch that film, you'll see that George Clooney wasn't a proven star at that time. Like, he's a major big star now, but he had just come off of ER, done a couple other movies. So the studio, I think, wasn't really sure that he could carry a major motion picture. But Arnold Schwarzenegger and Uma Thurman were huge stars at that time. So if you go back and watch the movie, you'll see the movie's more about them than it is about Batman. Right. So a lot of his stuff got cut down, which means a lot of our stuff, like, we filmed some of the greatest fight scenes that just aren't in the movie. And it's just, I would love to just go back and be able to get that footage, because, I mean, you'll see a 2-minute fight scene. That was a 10-minute fight scene.
Wow. So, yeah, that sucks. We need to, wait, who made that? Silver?
Get a Snyder cut of the old
Yeah. I bet if people would watch it, I bet people would be really excited about that.
Sure they would.
What is your favorite, well, excluding the ones you're in, what's your favorite Batman movie, you think?
I really like the Christian Bale version of him. I think he did a spectacular job, and I love the story that Christopher Nolan wrote around that trilogy. So I was a big fan of that whole arc.
Me too. I thought that Ben Affleck did an okay job, but I didn't think the movies were nearly up to par as what they should have been. Like, I think that Christopher Nolan's overall was way better. But I think there's a problem with some of the Batman is they don't stand out very much. Like, they don't do deep character studies on Batman a lot. And I kind of wish they did, because it's kind of like he's more one note than a lot of the bad guys. And I wish that weren't the case,
Yeah, listen, I think Affleck's doing a pretty good job as Batman. I think Christian Bale's, in my opinion, a little bit better at it, but Christian Bale was done, and Affleck stepped in. I think he's a good choice. I think the young kid, the vampire kid, I can't think of his name.
Oh, Patterson.
Robert Patterson. I think the preview is spectacular.
Yeah.
It's probably the best Batman preview I've ever seen out of all of them. So I'm hopeful that he's going to do a really good job, and they're going to do some justice. And speaking of justice, I hope DC takes some notes from Marvel about what you're saying, which is the character development, stuff like that. The reason that we're all so wound up in the whole Marvel universe is the way they brought everything together in a cohesive arc. I mean, the vision, the planning that Marvel has and had is just spectacular. And if there's anyone from DC watching, you need to take some notes.
Amen. No, because I was so excited about Justice League and all that kind of stuff, and now I'm like scared of it. Like I haven't seen.
Well, listen, the Snyder Cut, had they originally released the Snyder Cut, I mean, now you've got a whole different movie.
Yeah, it was definitely better
than the version they released. So
it was definitely a lot better. Like, so did you get to meet any of the Arnold Schwarzenegger or any of those people? Really?
Yeah, I got to meet them all. It was awesome.
He was nice. He was cool. Cool guy.
All the good stuff you hear about George Clooney is all true. He's the nicest guy in the world. And especially once he saw what we were doing in the Batsuit, because I told him, I'm going to make you look amazing. And then he came to rehearsals one day and saw us, and he's like, "Let's go to lunch."
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool.
It was
And
cool.
like that, it has been very great to talk to you. I don't want to take up any more of your time, but like I'm a huge fan, and thank you very much for talking to us for a few minutes. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man, my pleasure. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the fans, man. Young and old, doesn't matter, as you guys have helped keep the Mortal Kombat legacy alive. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate all the fans.
Thank you, buddy.
Bye, bud.
I'll talk
See ya.
to you soon.
You got it.
Check out Chris on Instagram, hit him up, and also check out a lovely word from our sponsor. 1428 Nightmare Studios. They make horror collectibles like this boy. Amazing. Also, Axe and Blaster made my shirt. Follow them on Instagram. If you want sunglasses like the ones I got on the show, then hit up Filthy Shades. They have beautiful sunglasses. You'll love them. I promise. Also, Made Man sponsored this episode, and they're skincare for men. So make sure to look them up. Also, StickerYeti.com. They make stickers. They made mine. They'll make some for you. Great work, people. And Stay in Motion skateboards. They sent me a few of these. They are amazing. Hit them up. Also, last but not least, Emerald Coast Pools. If you need a pool fixed in the Gulf Coast area, they will hook you up. Thank you guys. Make sure to stay tuned next week. I love ya.